Most men spend half their lives chasing things, and the other half wondering why they feel so empty. What if the wisdom you needed was written down 2,000 years ago? But you never stopped to read it? By the time many of us hit 40, we've already made the big choices: career, marriage, kids. But deep inside, something still feels off. The Stoics, men like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, faced the same doubts, same pressure, same disappointments. And they left behind timeless truths, not just for emperors or philosophers, but for everyday men like us. Today, we'll walk through Stoic life lessons men learned too late in life, so you don't have to. Control what you can. Let go of the rest. There's a strange moment that happens to a lot of men after 40. They wake up to a normal morning, but inside, they're not normal anymore. Maybe it's the alarm clock that goes off like every day. Maybe it's the first cup of coffee that's still hot in their hands. But when they look in the mirror, something in their eyes is different. It's not fatigue. It's the uncertainty of, what do I still control in this life? We spend our youth thinking we can change the world. Chart increasing, earn a lot of money. Ring, keep our marriage strong. Family, man, woman, girl, raise our children right. Flexed biceps, build an image of a strong man who can't be defeated. We think that if we try hard enough, persevere enough, everything will be in our hands. But then life starts to show you, it doesn't play by your rules. The company is downsizing, you're on the list. The wife who once vowed to be with you for life, now loves someone else. The son you once held in your arms, now closes the door and refuses to talk to you. You thought, I do everything right. Why is everything wrong? Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, said, there are things in our control, and things not in our control. Wisdom begins in knowing the difference. It sounds obvious. But living by it, it's revolutionary. Imagine you're holding a rope. One end is tied to your wrist. The other end is tied to a boat that's drifting out to sea. The waves are hitting, the wind is blowing, the boat is pulling you, your skin is burning, your blood is flowing. You hold on, because you think, if I let go, I'll lose everything. But what you don't see is, the rope isn't attached to the boat. It's attached to your illusion. That boat, may be your relationship that's broken. Or a job position that you've attached your identity to. Or an expectation of the perfect father, husband, man you've tried to be. The problem isn't that you're not trying. The problem is that you're trying to control something that's out of your power. What you can control. How you react when someone offends you. Whether you choose to forgive or hold grudges for the rest of your life. The lifestyle you choose every morning, practice or procrastinate. How you teach your children with actions, not just words. How you pick yourself up after a failure without blaming anyone. When you let go of what doesn't belong to you, you don't become weak. You become free. Not free to do anything, but free from the burden of things you never had control over in the first place. If there is one thing you should start doing today, write down 2 columns. One is what I can control. The other is what I can't. And from tomorrow, put 100% of your life energy into the left column. It's not a philosophy. It's a way to reclaim the life you once lost. Don't chase status. Build character. When you're young, the world is a big stage and you're an actor looking for a role. You measure your worth by the eyes of others. Backhand index pointing right, what car do you drive? Backhand index pointing right, what neighborhood do you live in? Backhand index pointing right, what brand of clothes do you wear? Backhand index pointing right, is your wife pretty? Backhand index pointing right, do your kids go to good schools? We learn to live to be seen. Not to live for ourselves, but to be admired. Then one day, maybe 42, maybe 57, you're sitting alone in your car, in your office, or in your backyard. And you suddenly realize, all the things that used to make you feel important, now mean nothing. The title on your business card has changed several times. The person who used to pat you on the shoulder has forgotten your name. The house is bigger, but emptier. Admiration comes and goes, like the wind blowing across a lake. You begin to ask, Who am I, without all that is out there? Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Status is something people can give you, and take away. But character is something you forge through the choices you make every day. When no one is looking, when there is no applause, when you are all by yourself. Character is when you keep your word, even when no one is checking. You treat others with kindness, even when they don't deserve it. You do the right thing, even when the price is silence, embarrassment, or loneliness. You apologize, not because you are weak, but because you are strong enough to humble yourself. A man may not have a reputation, but he still has weight. Because wherever he goes, he makes others feel safe, respected, enlightened. No need to shout. No need to affirm. Just be present, with your true self. At this age, you don't need more. You need deeper. Deeper in values. Deeper in relationships. Deeper in the person you are becoming. You may have traded your personality for a position in society. But it is never too late to change back. Because at the end of your life, people will not remember whether you were a director or a driver. They will only remember, what kind of man was he? Backhand index pointing right tonight. Before you go to sleep, write down 3 things you want people to say about you when you are no longer here. Not what you had, but who you were. And from tomorrow, live up to that, every day, every little action. Because character is not built in a day, but it is forged through every moment you choose the right thing, instead of the easy thing. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. There is a very special kind of silence that only men over 40 understand. It is not the silence of a man who has nothing to say. It is the silence of a man who has had enough pain and no longer wants to complain. You have ever put your head on the steering wheel after an argument? You have ever sat silently by your father's hospital bed? Or walked out of the divorce court with an empty heart? You have ever looked at your account balance, thinking, where did I go wrong? I should have known sooner. How did I let life get to this point? Life is not something you can control by planning or willpower. It is like the ocean, there are waves you cannot avoid. And pain is an inseparable part of the journey of being human. But the important thing is not whether you are in pain or not, but what do you do with that pain? Viktor Frankl, a doctor who survived a Nazi concentration camp, once wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose. Pain is something that happens to you. Pain is something you create within yourself. Losing your job is pain. But constantly repeating 'I'm useless, no one wants me' is pain. Your wife leaving you is pain. But blaming yourself every night, gnawing at your resentment is pain. A career failure is pain. But using it to destroy your self-esteem is pain. So how do you avoid falling into that cycle? First, look at the pain. Don't avoid it. Don't pretend to be okay. Name it. Write it down. Let it be. Only when you have the courage to look at it will it stop haunting you. Second, find meaning in the pain. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Ask, what can I learn from this pain? Every wound is a silent teacher. Third, share the burden. Don't keep it all inside. Find a friend, a child, a professional, someone you can trust to let out what you're holding in. You're not being weak when you open up. You're just making up. Men aren't taught how to handle emotions. We're taught how to endure, how to brace ourselves, how to man up. But sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is sit down, look inside, and say, I hurt, but I choose not to let it destroy me. Backhand index pointing right tonight, take 10 minutes to write down the greatest pain you've ever experienced. And alongside it, write down one lesson it taught you. Because pain doesn't come to kill you. It comes to teach you to be stronger and kinder. Time is your most precious asset. There is one thing you cannot buy more of, one you cannot get back, one you cannot bargain with, no matter how rich you are. Time. It does not scream for your attention. It does not ring a bell. It just quietly drains away minute by minute while you are preoccupied with things that are not worth it. At 20, you think you are immortal. At 30, you think you have plenty of time to start over. But at 40, you begin to feel the truth clearly. I am not going to live forever. And suddenly, you feel the urgency. Say what needs to be said. Live what needs to be lived. Stop wasting time on things that do not matter. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. It's not that we live too short, it's that we waste too much." Ask yourself honestly. How many hours a day do you spend on social media, negative news, unnecessary conversations? How much time do you burn trying to please people who don't really matter? How many Sunday afternoons do you spend feeling empty, waiting for Monday? Time isn't something you're given every morning. It's something you're wasting every second. And most of us only start to appreciate it when we're almost out of it. Mantelpiece clock. A father once said, "I didn't miss my son's childhood. I just always thought there was enough time to go back. But then, one day he grew up. And I was a stranger." Hourglass. Not done. A husband shares, "I tried to provide for my family by working 12 hours a day. But what my wife needed most was the time I wasn't there." If money can make you rich, then time is what makes you meaningful. And the difference between an average man and an awakened man isn't how much time he has, it's how he uses it. Starting today, do this. Reduce wasted time by 50%. Cut out TV, social media, meaningless conversations. Increase intentional time by 100%. Talk to your kids for 10 minutes every night. Spend time in nature every week. Call your mom. Send a thank you text to your ex. Exercise. Read a book. Learn something you've always wanted to learn. Rewrite your definition of rich. If it's just money, you'll always feel lacking. But if it's quality time, mindfulness, real connection, you'll feel enough. Hourglass. Not done. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose status and rebuild it. But an hour that's gone, it's gone forever. Spend it as if you were paying with blood. Because, in a way, you are. Backhand index pointing right. Suggestion for today. Before you go to bed, write down 3 things you did today that really mattered. If there are none, then tomorrow you know where to start. Your emotions are not you. Have you ever been so angry that you banged your fists against a wall? Have you ever been so depressed that you sat in your car, started the engine, and then turned it off, not knowing where to go? Have you ever felt like a small boat being tossed about by anger, anxiety, jealousy, regret? If so, you are not alone. But here is what a mature man needs to remember. Emotions come and go. But you are not those waves. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But somewhere along the way, the man learned the wrong lesson. That anger is strength. That silence is control. That emotions are weak and must be suppressed. So you brace. You suppress. You endure. Until one day, those buried emotions explode one way or another. An argument. A bout of depression. A night alone, wondering who you are anymore. What's the truth? Backhand index pointing right. Emotions are signals, not judgments. They're warning lights on the dashboard, not drivers. Are you angry? Maybe your values are being threatened. Are you sad? Maybe you've lost something you really love. Are you afraid? Maybe you're facing something that requires courage. Stoicism doesn't mean no emotions. It means emotions, but not control. So what to do? 1. Name your emotions. When you feel angry, don't scream. Don't punch. Say, to yourself or someone else, I feel hurt. I feel unheard. Emotions have names, they are softened. 2. Observe, don't dissolve. Learn to sit with yourself as an observer. Oh, my heart is beating fast. Oh, my hands are clenching. Oh, I'm thinking very negative thoughts. You are not the thoughts. You are not the reactions. You are the one observing them. 3. Don't make decisions in the middle of a storm. If you are angry, hurt, bitter, wait. Making decisions when your mind is calm, that is true strength. A mature man is not someone who never gets angry. It is someone who doesn't let anger define him. A strong man is not someone who doesn't feel pain, but the one who dares to admit the pain and then stands up after it. You don't need to control your emotions like a machine. You just need to accompany them like a true master. Backhand index pointing right, today's little exercise. When a strong emotion occurs, don't react immediately. Take 3 deep breaths, then ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to tell me? Write down the answer. Read it again in 1 hour. You will be surprised at the clarity within yourself. You can't control others, only yourself. How many times have you felt like life has turned its back on you because others don't behave the way you expect them to? Your wife isn't as sweet as she used to be. Your children don't listen. Your co-workers don't respect you. Your friends don't keep their word. The world is chaotic, irrational, and unpredictable. You try to change them. You argue, persuade, plead, get angry, stay silent. But in the end, you just find yourself exhausted and bitter. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "Some things are up to us, and some are not." True freedom begins with that statement. You can't control others. You can't force anyone to love you the right way. You can't force anyone to treat you fairly. You can't make anyone understand you completely. And you can't make the world go the way you want it to. But you can always control yourself. How you react. How you choose. How you stay calm. How you retreat at the right time. And how you stand firm, not letting the world drag you down. Tornado, the storm outside will blow forever. You can scream at it. Curse it. But it won't help. The wise man builds his shelter within himself. Stoicism doesn't teach you to control everything. It teaches you to let go of what you can't control, and focus on what you can control. So, how to apply it? 1. Identify what's out of your hands. Write down the things that have been worrying, making you angry, frustrated lately. Then circle the things you can actually change. If the other person doesn't change, you can still choose to withdraw in silence instead of arguing. Choose not to overreact. Choose to focus on what makes you stronger, not weaker. 2. Practice letting go. Letting go doesn't mean being indifferent. Letting go means, I don't waste any more energy trying to change what I don't own. Imagine you're holding a rope and pulling against a car that's going downhill. The more you pull, the more your hands get torn. Letting go, sometimes the most powerful action. 3. Act from character, not emotion. Don't let others make you betray yourself. If you want to be calm, upright, generous, be that way, no matter how anyone treats you. There's a very Stoic saying, when you try to control everything, you enjoy nothing. And at some point in your life, you realize, peace doesn't come from making everything on the outside perfect. It comes from mastering your inner world. Backhand index pointing right, today's little thing. Write down 3 recent situations that made you angry, confused, or hurt. For each situation, ask, what about this is within my control? How could I have responded differently if I had been more calm? Legacy matters more than success. At 25, you chase success. At 35, you try to maintain it. But at 45, 50, another question begins to knock on your door, silently but clearly. When I'm gone, what will be left? Trophy success is what you achieve. Seedling legacy is what you leave behind. Success can be a title, a car, a beach house. But legacy, what lives on in the hearts of others after you're gone? You may be the one who makes the most money. But do your children feel loved? You may be the one who is respected at work. But will your friends and neighbors remember you as a decent person? A Stoic philosopher once wrote, "What we do now echoes in eternity. What we do today will echo forever." And this is what a mature man needs to learn. Success is the applause when you are alive. Legacy is the whisper when you are gone. So, what is your legacy? It could be a child who knows how to love and stand firm in life, because you taught them with all your heart. It could be a friend, an employee, a student, who will always remember how you listened to them, encouraged them, helped them change their lives. It could be just a notebook with a few sincere lines that you left behind, enough for someone to live better later. You don't have to be great to create a legacy. You just have to live intentionally, every day. Remember, no one remembers how many things you own. They only remember who you are when they need you. No one records you for the hours you worked. They remember the moments when you were truly present. Deciduous tree, think of a tree. Success is the fruit you reap in a season. Legacy is the shade you leave behind, even when you are no longer there. How to start living for legacy? 1. Ask, if I left tomorrow, what would live on? That is a wake-up call. It makes you slow down, go deeper, live more truly. 2. Invest in people, not just possessions. Instead of adding another item, take the time to call your aging father. Instead of chasing fame, teach your children how to treat the weak. 3. Record your wisdom. Write a letter. Record a video. Share your life lessons, the ones that are not in books. Because someone will need it, someday when you are no longer here to tell them. Hourglass not done, you will not live forever. But the legacy you plant today may live forever in the hearts of others. Live as if. Tomorrow I will be gone, but today I plant something that will never die. Backhand index pointing right, small action today. Write a letter, handwritten or emailed, to a dear friend, someone you have never thanked. They may not say anything. But you have just left a seed, and that is where your legacy begins. Comfort is the enemy of growth. There is a bitter paradox in the life of men. When you are young, you take risks to advance. But when you grow older, you begin to shrink to live safely. And then one day, you realize, although you are not poor, not sick, not in need, something is slowly dying inside you. Fire. The real story is this. Comfort, your easy chair, is not a reward. It is a gilded cage, leaving you behind. The Stoics never glorified comfort. They saw it as an anesthetic. Comfort, deception, and slowly killing the warrior spirit inside you. Don't hope for a life without problems. Hope for the strength to overcome them. Epictetus. The problem is not that you are tired. The problem is that you have stopped doing the thing that makes your heart beat faster. Ask yourself, when was the last time you learned a new skill, not for money, but out of curiosity? When was the last time you stood up to something that scared you, and did it anyway? When did you feel like you were living, not just surviving? If you can't remember, you may have let comfort fool you into thinking secure is enough. But no, comfort is never the destination. Why is comfort dangerous? 1. It makes you give up slowly. When you refuse difficulty, you also refuse growth. 2. It takes away your character. A man who lives too long in comfort forgets how to get up when he falls. 3. It makes you lose yourself. You were born to conquer, to learn, to overcome, not to repeat the safe days. Direct hit growth only happens on the edge of discomfort. How to get out of your comfort zone? 1. Voluntarily step out of your comfort zone, a little bit every day. Choose to walk instead of drive. Try talking to a stranger. Exercise 30 minutes earlier. Relearn something that makes you feel I'm too old for this. 2. Choose hardship before life forces you to endure it. The Stoics called this voluntary hardship. When you actively endure cold, hunger, rejection, etc., you become resilient, strong, and less likely to fall when the real storm comes. 3. Record your progress and celebrate each small step. You don't have to climb a mountain in one day. Just take steps. Today is better than yesterday. Remember, you were not born to be comfortable. You were born to be strong, from the inside out. Backhand index pointing right. Today's little thing. Pick one thing you've been hesitant about doing. Write it down. Commit to doing it in the next 24 hours. Then, write down how you feel after doing it. It doesn't have to be perfect, just dare to do it. Discipline is freedom. Be honest. Have you ever said, I'm going to wake up early tomorrow? Or, I'm going to stop binge eating and start exercising again? Or, I need to control my emotions better? But then, the next morning you sleep in for 20 minutes longer. Next week you're still drinking beer on Wednesdays. And you're still grumpy about the little things. You want to change, but somehow you keep falling back into old habits. Most men don't lack goals. They lack discipline. And the irony is, people who don't live a disciplined life are not free. You may think you're living your life on your own terms. But in reality, you're controlled by your emotions, habits, and procrastination. You eat emotionally, your health declines. You spend money without control, you always feel deprived. You procrastinate, lose opportunities. You speak without thinking, damage important relationships. And just like that, you are a slave to yourself. Lightbulb philosopher Seneca once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." What is discipline? It is not asceticism. It is not self-suppression. It is not turning life into a training camp. Discipline, at its core, is a free choice every day to live according to the values you believe are right. Shield when you are disciplined. You choose what you need, instead of what you want right away. You do the right thing, even when no one is watching. You stand firm in the face of temptation, in a world that wants you to fall. Discipline does not make your life smaller. It makes you grow inside. How to cultivate discipline. 1. Start small, but do it consistently. Don't try to change your whole life in a week. Just pick one habit, do it every day. Get up 15 minutes earlier. Exercise for 10 minutes. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. 2. Tie the habit to your identity. Don't say, I'm trying to exercise. Say, I'm disciplined. When you change what you call yourself, you change what you do. 3. Forgive yourself for falling, but don't give up. Some days you'll slip, but get back up the next day. Don't let a small mistake turn into a permanent setback. Direct hit discipline is the bridge between who you are today and who you want to be. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to show up, do the right thing, every day. Discipline is what you do when no one is watching. But it is what builds the person the world admires. Backhand index pointing right. Today's small thing. Pick one simple thing you've been avoiding. And do it before the end of the day. Just one step. You've unlocked a new level of freedom within yourself. Time is your most precious currency. There is a kind of loss that makes no sound. It doesn't hurt you right away. But over time, it drains everything meaningful from your life. It's a waste of time. Most men don't lose their lives in one big wave. They lose them little by little, in procrastination, in pointless meetings, in mindless social media scrolling, and in saying yes to everything, except their own lives. You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. Seneca. You act like mortals in fear, and like immortals in desire. At 40, 50, you begin to understand. You don't have as much time as you used to. And that's not a pessimistic thing. It's something that keeps you sane more than ever. Time is the most equitable unit. Everyone has 24 hours. No one can buy more. Cannot save. Cannot be reversed. Once it is gone forever. Imagine. Every morning you are transferred 86,400 seconds. And at midnight, the balance is wiped out, no matter how you spent it. Where will you spend it? Complaining? Watching other people live on social media? Doing something you hate because you are afraid of change? Or spending it on something that really matters? So what is really worth your time? A dinner with your son, where you really listen. A call to your aging mother, instead of putting it off until next week. A quiet morning reading, to nourish your mind. A workout, to preserve longevity and freedom of movement. Compass-wise people don't ask, do I have time? They ask, is this worth my precious time? How to live as if time is the most valuable currency. 1. Say no clearly. You don't have to please everyone. Say no to the unimportant, say yes to the meaningful. 2. Plan with your heart. Don't just schedule work. Schedule real moments, like a date with your wife, a walk with your kids, or just sitting and breathing. 3. Delete the things that waste your time. Uninstall social media apps for a week. Turn off notifications. Reduce time with people who drain you. Hourglass not done, you can lose money and make it back. But time, once gone, is gone forever. Live as if. Every second I spend today is writing the person I will be tomorrow. Backhand index pointing right today's small thing. Write down 3 things that are not worth your time right now. And commit to eliminating 1 thing within 24 hours. You've just taken back a part of your life. Cyclone, this is where you start, not with a big leap, but with small choices, right, in each moment. You don't need a philosophy degree to live a Stoic life. You just need to choose today to live with purpose, presence, and peace. Which of these 10 lessons hit you hardest? Leave a comment and tell me. Then write it down, live it out, and pass it on.